So good
Greetings,
morning, everyone. It
Greetings.
is Friday, Feng Shui Friday.
Look at us. We didn't even plan this, even though we had a photo shoot yesterday. I'm in black and white and she's in white.
Mm-hmm. and that was so much fun.
Yeah. It was.
Okay, so who are we? What do we do?
Oh, well, this would be Feng Shui with Anita and Cheryl. Yay. And this is Feng Shui Friday. F-U-N, gotta have some fun in your life, right?
That's right.
What did we do for fun yesterday, Anita?
Oh, yeah, we had fun. We did a photo shoot yesterday.
How come? You got to explain why we did the photo shoot, other than it was overdue.
Because, yeah, we have so many things coming up that, you know, they go, can you send a picture? Can, you know, I need a headshot. I need a this or that. And, yeah. So
what is it that we have coming up that we need these things for? What do we have
coming up? We have an online summit that we are doing called, just a minute, I have to look, I just want to call it these Clarity, Confidence, Connection Summit, coming up beginning of September. Then we have the Women's Wellness Retreat in Sylvan Lake.
Live. Woohoo! I'm so excited about that.
And then in November, I'm going to be a guest on Healing Wednesday with my spiritual mentor, dear friend Lee Carroll and Monica Morani.
Yay! I'm so excited.
I'm super stoked for that.
And there's one other reason we need.
Oh yeah, we're rebranding. We're gonna have a new website. Oh, and we're writing a book.
We're writing a book.
Oh my God, yeah, we're doing so much stuff here.
It's like, what day is it? Oh my God, it's Friday already.
What day? Where are we? Who are you?
Oh, it's been awesome though. It's been awesome. Yeah. So are we live yet there? Can you see us?
Yeah, we are. I just have to do the thing. Okay.
Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. And so the other thing, so we did want to make do a shout out.
Yes, absolutely.
Stacy Tompkins did our photo shoot yesterday. Excellent.
She had her work cut out for it, trying to keep us from talking and laughing and being goofy.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. And then my friend Jody, good morning, you know, Jody, if you're here listening, Jody and Bonnie were our audience. And so we had a great time. Jody's beautiful cabin.
Oh.
And yeah, it was wonderful.
Nothing like nature to ground you and, you know, a little bit of wine to have some fun with and, you know, all that fun stuff. I had a card fly out.
Yeah, it was just a card flew out. Whoa.
Yep.
And so, yeah, if you're joining us for the first time or, you know, whatever, we pop on here every Friday and we just share some wisdom on Feng Shui. And Cheryl is shuffling as you saw the, you know, card fly out. And we use the Personal Paradise card deck from Catherine Collins, our teacher, mentor, and friend. And that's the topic of the day.
So actually two, I kept shuffling and the second one flipped really quickly. And you know how it's, I believe it was last night. It was last night. It was after the photo shoot when we were sitting on Jody's back deck enjoying, and she was talking about, you know, her cabin and feng shuiing and different things. And they got talking about people that have passed and what to do and stuff like that. So the cards that came up are helpful people in travel.
Oh.
And the living room.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that energy is still helpful people in travel is number 51.
Yeah.
And living room is number 18.
Yeah. So that energy is still
that energy is still here because we were talking about, you know, having an altar, but private, right? Something that's sacred to you and your family and speaks to you and your family. And it all came about, we have to tell Jody's story. Do you think she'd be okay with that?
I think so.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the story, part of the story, not all of it, we won't go into the whole thing, but part of the story was that she has a cabin and it was broken into. And they went through drawers. Obviously, whoever broke in was looking for cash. Anyway, they stole, amongst other things, a very ornate container, which happened to have had the ashes of her dad, correct?
Yeah.
It was her father's ashes.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in there and you're a thief and you're just thinking, oh, that's pretty, I can sell that. It looks expensive, blah, 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 blah. So she didn't say how long later, but her son comes in the house and he's got a bag.
Yeah, I think she did say, I think it was about 6 months.
6 months. Yeah, it was quite a while.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it was quite a while after the break-in. Anyway, her son goes, Mom, did you put Grandpa's ashes in a bag? She's like, what? So whoever had stolen the container remembered where they stole it from and then realized that they were somebody's ashes inside it. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. That's disrespectful. But the whole thing is, can you imagine?
And brought it back.
And brought the ashes back, was respectful enough to bring the ashes back to where he stole them from, or she stole them from.
Yeah.
I think that's quite interesting.
I think that was a really cool story. Yeah. And the other thing, like, I actually remember seeing her dad, like, so it was a beautiful, her mom had, spent the extra money and got this beautiful, container, and it was set in this little, I think it was kind of like a little velvet box or something. So yeah, I could see where someone that stole it would have went, oh, this is
valuable,
obviously a precious something, right? And then it probably wasn't until they took it to the pawn shop or somewhere that they went, yeah, no, that's cremains in there. Anyway.
So you got to wonder how that person's karma is playing out for them.
Yeah, but good for them that
that they brought it back.
Yeah, absolutely. That was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I'm not surprised to see the living room and helpful people in travel, because quite often when we talk about where do you put, so let's just bring that up. Where would you put a little jar or a container that has the cremated ashes of a pet, a deceased family member?
I absolutely love that we put it in helpful people in travel, because helpful people in travel is representative of that unseen energy, the angelic realm, the etheric realm. And quite often when we have a loved one that's passed, there are sometimes when we have maybe some challenges or tribulations in our life where we might be reflective and we might call upon that deceased person's energy to be with us.
Exactly.
I know the other day, it was the anniversary of my father's death, actually on the Lionsgate. And so, I sat on the deck and I just had a little peaceful conversation with him. And it was really interesting because it was like I just got this beautiful gust of wind. So I knew he was there, right?
Yeah. And they always are.
Yeah. And so, the helpful people and travel area, which when you're walking in your front entrance or, the entrance to a room is located to your right. So it's kind of like that first area to your right. And so you could put cremains there. I also have cremains in my home. I have cremains from my mother-in-law and our pet. And I have I kind of have set up like a little altar area. It's not just like front and center that you would see it when you come into my home, Cheryl, but it's, in a little cabinet, and I have the special photos of, the people that have passed over, my niece, my husband's nephew, mother-in-law, father-in-law, whatever. So we have,
Mhm.
you know, this collection of photos, and then we have, you know, grandma's cremains. And you wouldn't even know they're cremains because we actually have her in a little container. I searched high and low because she used to collect owls.
Oh, cool.
And so after she passed, I searched high and low for some kind of owl container so that I could put her cremains
In it.
in for her daughters as well,
Nice.
right?
Nice.
And anyways, I found the cutest little owl and stuck
Mhm.
her in there. And so her wisdom is always with us.
That is, oh, I love the correlation with that. That is really nice. Yeah, and same with me in our helpful people in travel area. It's an assortment. And like our pet that had passed, who Rod lovingly called him my shadow, because wherever I went, Bogey was there.
Yeah.
There was a young lady from Calgary, and I'm not even sure how I heard about her anymore. Anyway, the glass experience is
Yeah.
her
Mhm.
business, and she very, very graciously and very considerate takes the whatever it is, remains of, and she puts the ashes into a piece of art, of blown glass art.
Mhm.
And we chose a sphere. So it's probably that size. I could go grab it, but I'm not going
Yeah.
to.
Mhm.
I'll add a picture later.
Yeah.
Is what
Yeah,
I'll
so
do.
it's a little bit bigger than this.
Quite a bit bigger than that. Anyway,
Mhm.
and then you choose the colors, the other colors that you want with it. And that's some of the ashes from our pet.
Mhm.
Right? So it's sitting there and it looks very decorative to somebody else, and it has the meaning to us.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah, and I love that. And in fact, we are actually going to do that with our pets ashes. The next time I go to Calgary, I'm actually going to go see that lady.
Oh, nice.
Because I love the idea,
Mhm.
you know, so we could have something made that's this size.
Exactly.
And it would just be a swirl of color, and the cremains would be there. And
Mhm.
again, like you say, you can just, you know, have as a decorative piece. Somebody else could see it and not know what it is, but then you always know. And then again, you know, I love, you know, to hold on to it.
Exactly.
Right? So I could hold on to something that
Mhm.
size and, you know, call in that higher energy.
Exactly.
Good morning, Sharon. Good morning,
Oh,
Kathy.
good morning, Sharon. Good morning, Kathy.
I love that helpful people in travel. And then again, you know, it really has been my experience or our experience that the unseen energy is way more powerful than
Heavens,
that which
yes.
we can see, feel, and touch.
Absolutely.
And the helpful people in travel area or gua of the home or office or bedroom is really an opportunity to connect to that is, you know, that unseen realm.
Mhm. Mhm.
Whether you want to increase your intuition, your connection to source, you know, bring in those extra helpers for a specific project or something like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, or
Then you
something
can-
that you're at your wit's end, and it's like, okay, I'm just going to give this to you guys.
Yeah.
Handle it for me, please. The other thing that came up yesterday when we were in conversation with the ladies out at the lake sitting after the photo shoot was the location of pictures of people that have passed. And Bonnie said, oh, well, shouldn't that be in your bedroom? And how did you respond, may I ask?
What did I tell? I don't know. Did I tell her no? Hell
Yes.
no.
Hell
Yeah,
no.
I think I said hell no. Yeah, it depends what you want going on in your bedroom. And again, it's kind of like, you know, pictures of your children, but yeah, certainly not pictures of people that have passed in your bedroom, because you know, you want to be able to have those 3 R's in your bedroom, the rest, relaxation, rejuvenation, and a romance. You know, there could be 4 R's. So all of that is not conducive, right? When you're having pictures, that's the memory of that person, etc.
You have to tell the story of the ex-girlfriend in the bed. I know we're supposed to be talking about living rooms, but we got sidetracked on bedrooms, but we were talking about the helpful people in travel area in all rooms of our house. And that's what brought up the bedroom for me. So having mementos in the bedroom in the helpful people in travel area specifically, because that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Wasn't it someone's chair? Like a grandmother's chair?
Oh, from that client.
Yes.
Yes. And it
How was that working for him?
Yeah, it was actually his aunt.
Okay, that's what it was.
It was one of those armchairs that his aunt had sat in. She had passed away, and she was like the motherly figure to him that he had never had. And so she passed away, and he had the chair in his bedroom, and it ended up being a catch-all. His new wife didn't like it, all of those things. But again, when I brought his awareness or his attention to the fact that his aunt was in the bedroom, with them all the time, how did he feel about his aunt watching him do his, his sexy
dance,
move,
his
sexy
dance.
move, right? And then he was just like, okay,
the chair's got to go.
The chair is gonna go. Anyway, so yeah, that was quite interesting.
But that same chair in the living room in the helpful people and travel section or area would have been ideal. So it's location.
Yeah, and then it just depends on what, because anything only has meaning, the meaning that you give it, right? And because that chair had that memory and association attached to it for him, then, it was definitely, imprinted in his subconscious mind and was definitely having an effect on the results that were showing up in his life.
Right.
However, that chair, like you said, in the living room, could be that nice warm blanket, that loving hug, just sitting in that chair, and then having again that reflection of that person. So yeah, really, really quite different. And the other thing we could talk about too, when it comes to living rooms, and again, this is a conversation we had yesterday with Jody and Bonnie.
Right.
And I loved how it kind of went, because they were curious and asking questions and all of those things. And we were talking about animals, the stuffed animals that you have in your home. And I mean, I don't have any. I know Cheryl doesn't have any. But
Rod has a pheasant in the garage.
A pheasant in the garage. But I know a lot of people, including, my brothers, my family, oh my God, the taxidermists, probably
make a living off your brother.
Just for my family, right? For my brothers and stuff. And so we talked about, because Jody has this beautiful cottage that was built in the 1930s. It's decorated very eclectically, and it just has so much charm and history. And she has in her living room at the cottage, she has this big peacock. And so it's a taxidermy, it's been stuffed and whatever. And so she started to tell us the story, because she was like, oh, is that good feng shui? What about dead animals, kind of thing. And we talked about, not in our culture at this time, we haven't been taught to honor the spirit of the animal. When we think about 200 years ago or whatever, the indigenous people and even the early settlers probably had some awareness based on the indigenous culture when they were out hunting for buffalo. Well, guess what? you know, the indigenous people had ceremony
Mhm.
before the hunt.
And after.
I know the Inuit people will do that before they do a whale hunt. They have ceremony. They talk to the spirit of the animal, and they respect and honor the spirit of the animal. And then they also use all of that animal, you know, whether
Mhm.
it was the beaver or the buffalo or what have you. But today, you know, in our culture, it's like, oh yeah, let's get a gun, let's shoot an animal, let's put them on the wall, you know, yay, that's fun. And I guess, you know, again, it, you know, whatever meaning you attach to it personally is different, but I look at it as, um, you know, that animal, you know, all living things, all creatures, we're all connected to, we are not separate from anything. And so there still has to be some type of respect and
Respect.
honoring. And so, yeah, we said to Jody, so where did the peacock come from? And she actually saved it from one of her neighbors, or somebody had it. And
She
it was
didn't
actually
save the
gonna,
peacock while it was alive.
yeah. Oh yeah. And
The,
then
the
anyway,
peacock was a neighbor's pet
right. And
and it
it got
was
run
killed.
over or something.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. And
Mm-hmm.
the neighbors had it to a taxidermist and stuffed,
Mm-hmm.
but they couldn't bear to have it in the house anymore. They couldn't bear to see the pet because they loved it so much.
Mm-hmm.
So Jody has the peacock
Yeah.
and saved it from the landfill, but she shares that story. So it
Right.
was all done in a very respectful manner.
Yeah. Very, and loving and
Yeah,
all of that, right?
exactly. So,
And so, and then she also had, I mean, because she was also thinking of buying a moose head,
mhm.
right? For the cabin, because she thought it would be fun to have. But again, so, you know, it's just a different perspective. It's a way of looking at things differently. You know, you could look at it the same way with a, you know, a bear rug, or, you know, something like that,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Maybe a fur jacket. Again, it's just, you know, we have to somewhere honor the spirit or the essence of the creature, and know that, you know, like when I wear my fur jacket, I love my wolf fur jacket, because it's so warm, and it's, you know, and I definitely am very cognizant and aware of that animal, and just knowing that um you know, that fur is keeping me warm, and that I love it.
Mhm.
And so it really is honoring that essence of it.
And having something like that in the living room, you know, in Jody's case, perfect location for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Having an animal behind the bed, the head of the bed, or waking up and seeing it across from you first thing
Mm-hmm.
in the morning, not so conducive.
Yeah, probably not a good idea. Yeah.
So just
Mm-hmm.
some thoughts. So again, it's like Anita said, anything only has meaning, and that's the meaning that you assign it.
Mm-hmm.
So check into what meaning you've assigned to something. And I stress the word you because, oh, well, go out and buy this because you're going to get lots of information from it. So you go out and you buy the book and then you assign it meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go by the meaning I've assigned it.
Right. Right. Yeah. So yeah, it's all about, you know, that awareness, and just knowing that everything is energy, and how we are connected to and interact with that energy, how it affects our psyche, our
Mhm.
subconscious mind. You know, all of those things are woven together to really help us create a different life, or a different outlook,
Yeah.
right?
And results.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we always start. It was interesting yesterday chatting with the girls too, because it was like,
Mm-hmm.
well, what did you think when you walked into my house? I thought it was a really cute cabin. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what did feng shui? Did, you know, energetic? And I was like, I don't walk in and feng shui somebody's house.
Mm-hmm.
I already am getting that from friends. It's like,
Yeah.
no, unless you've asked for my assistance, that's off territory. That's like going out for lunch with your doctor and asking for medical advice over lunch.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about that? You know, I got this right here. No, if you're going out for lunch with your friend, go out for lunch with your friend.
Mhm.
So,
Well, and you know, really it is about putting our feng shui glasses on and taking them off, right? Because I mean,
100%.
I'm exactly the same way. I go into someone's house and I'm not, you know, picking up cues from
No,
their environment.
no,
That's
I'm there to
it's
be with them.
yeah. It's totally not in my awareness. Unless, like you say, then if they ask, then you can put on your feng shui eyes and go, oh, I wonder what this is, right? Tell me about this.
Exactly.
That's our biggest, you know, tell me about this. And again, you know, that would be a prime example of the peacock in the living
Exactly.
room, right?
Exactly.
So if Jody had been our client, we had come in there, you know, we might put our own belief or perception, we might try to, you know, project that on a consultation, but not knowing the backstory. So we might say, oh, dead animals are bad feng shui in the house, right? But now that we heard the story, well, instead we would just say, tell me about this. Tell me about this. And then from there, then we know if it's, you know, good feng shui for the client or not.
Or not.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, it really
Okay.
doesn't take long for time to fly.
No, I'm looking and I'm going, what?
Did Kathy or Sharon have any comments or questions online that we need to address before we wrap it?
I don't see any, but you know what? Are we going to talk about the numbers?
Oh, yes, heavens. So we've got an 18, which is a 9, a 51 is a 6, 9 and 6 is 15, which is a 6. So
Mhm.
today is a 6 number. And what is today?
Ooh,
2, 4,
six.
6, 8.
What does Marilyn's book have to say about the 6?
About the 6. Well, you saw me flash that earlier. Marilyn Harper, Double Digitology.
Mhm.
This is my reference
Mhm.
guide. I get a boatload of information out of this. Buy one for yourself and see if it works for you. All right. The meaning of 6. In the past, the energy of the 6 has only been about material possessions. And yes, it is still important to pay attention to those material things that you have in your world. However, now the 6 carries a much greater message. Dun, dun, dun. The 6 itself is about releasing your worry about material possessions or releasing your worry about the effectiveness of your money or anything related to your material world. The 6 is also about being pregnant with new ideas that are bursting to be born.
I love that.
Which is interesting because this Lion's Gate, I heard a lot about leadership and material possessions.
And we're in the full moon energy, and we still are in the Lion's Gate kind of energy as well.
Yeah, today's kind of wrapping the Lion's Gate up, but the full moon energy is still full and strong.
Yeah, so really, you know, this is all really good because that helpful people in travel again goes back to that unseen energy. And then the living room is the place where we can gather and ground and
release those worries about your material possessions and your finances with the full moon's energy. Release it, give it up to the unseen energies and say, here you go. You deal with this stuff now. Okay, please.
Yep.
Thank you.
You know, it's out of my hands, you know, I'm going to let it go, let it flow, right?